Holy, shout out upstate New York. You guys are getting hit hard by this stuff, okay? Just to make it about me for a second, okay? We don't have like the 50, the 50-year high when it comes to snow or anything like that. We're going to be taking a look at some pictures that are out there, and it is spooky what is going on in Buffalo. Shout out to all those people. And definitely, man, 35 people dead? What the hell is actually going on? But it gets even worse than that, because when natural disasters hit, I guess this is just a natural result of climate change that's out there, right? And then you start to get a bunch of looters, just ransacking whatever's left. It's fucking disgusting, okay? But yes, up here in Grand Prairie, well, now we're starting to get a little bit more of the snow. Today, as of recording, this is, previous day. Just didn't have enough time, and I wanted to talk about other things, so fuck off, okay? We're getting quite a bit of snow here today. Nothing, anything comparable to what Buffalo's doing, but previously, over the past 10-ish so days, I haven't seen the sun. I miss the sun. The sun sure would be nice, but it's been 50 below, okay? But now it's warmed up considerably. I don't know where they're getting those numbers from, but it's still 20 below outside, so... And that's a shoot, brother. It hasn't been any warmer than that. And yeah, the previously mentioned 10 days for sure. And it's likely to continue through the end of the week. So what a banger of a way to end 2022. But not about Grand Prairie. This is about Buffalo right here. Buffalo is plunged into chaos with brazen looters destroying stores as death toll from devastating blizzard rises to at least 35. Holy fuck. But don't worry, guys. Kathy Hochul's there, and she's going to go down to the local church, try to paint herself as some sort of a Jesus figure, and, I don't know, make sure everybody gets enough vaccines out there so everybody's well taken care of in Buffalo. Holy fuck. You guys made your own bed down there and fucking lie in it, I guess. Okay, hopefully, somebody doesn't steal the mattress from out underneath of you. Buffalo has been plunged into chaos as brazen looters wreak havoc on storefronts amidst a historic blizzard that dumped 6 feet of snow in the northern New York City. Holy fuck, dude. 6 feet of snow? And that's that thick, heavy shit. And to just bring it back to me for a second... Like, we get a lot of snow. Like, there's a fucking lot of snow outside, okay? All things considered, but it's that light, fluffy snow where it'll just come down, it'll pour for day after day after day, but when it's all said and done, man, it's not all that heavy. But that shit right out there next to the coast, man, that's that thick, heavy stuff where it just sticks to the shovel and you try to throw it and it doesn't want to go anywhere and it just fucking blows. So again, that shit's tough. Real tough. I'll take the cold and, just a whole bunch of fluffy snow any day, but you can keep the wind, though. Go ahead and trade it off then. This has become the deadliest storm to hit the western part of the state in 50 fucking years, with at least 35 people reported dead. That doesn't ever make sense to me, okay? You get 6 feet of snow outside. Okay, that sucks. If you live in a basement, that could be the absolute shits, but how do people die because there's a bunch of snow? Like, okay, I understand women drivers, am I right? But people trapped in their houses and cars, it's like, okay, cool. Over the course of a couple of days, you just turn up dead? Like, unless you got severe medical conditions, like average people, and that's what we're going to take a look at, the general populace. How did they end up dead so quickly? Like, these people, man, I guess they maybe weren't long for this world to begin with. And you're in Buffalo, okay? You already know fucking weather's gonna suck. Winter's gonna be a bitch. Not this bad. Nobody ever anticipates 6 feet of snow just popping up like this. And even recently, earlier in the winter, I think at the beginning of December, there was a shit ton of snow. A fucking Buffalo Bills game had to be moved to Detroit. I remember seeing that because there was so much fucking snow. I don't remember how many people died. It had nothing to do with 35. But hey, man, we'll see what we got here. Roads, and oh yeah, here we go. There's some pictures of the youths on parade. And don't want to define any of these characters that are there, but we got some pictures. Roads in the city remain impassable under several feet of heavy snow. Oh, that sucks, man, because that's a ton of precipitation. And the first responders are still struggling to reach those who are cut off days after the storm hit. Shelters and nursing homes are starting to run out of food. Erie County Executive Mark Poloncarz, sure, said in a news conference Monday morning, while fewer than 10,000 people remain without power ahead of a second storm that is expected to dump another 1.5 feet of snow in the already struggling city. All right, I guess that'll come down yesterday night. It would be tonight at the time of recording, but I guess go out there and get while the getting's good, because, people are, stuck in place, but not so much that they can't go out there and facilitate a big screen television theft. Or maybe they're just moving it outside from one place to another, one home that doesn't have power to one that does, so they can watch the game. But there, yeah, a picture of, what the fuck is that? Jesus Christ, man. I couldn't even fucking imagine. Like, there's fields, there's the streets that I run down whenever there's a big old snowstorm or something like that. And sometimes it's a bitch. Like I've stated before, like I'm 6.5 feet tall. So I guess it would probably go down to what, my cheekbones. That's how much snow you motherfuckers got down there. That is wild as shit, okay? Like a lot, like I've seen over 24-hour periods, like it'll go up to my waist, okay? Like we'll get 3.5, 4 feet of snow overnight. I've seen it a couple of different times. I'm not hoping for it because, you know, we already went through 50 below. You can fucking keep the snow, okay? That's fine. But let's see what the people in charge of keeping, you know, a community, and this is Buffalo, right? Like this isn't bumfuck nowhere. This is one of the largest cities in the state, okay? What's the administration there? You know, just the feel-good Democrats doing about this? Well, exactly about as much as you'd anticipate them to do. New York Governor Kathy Hochul. I don't know how to pronounce this bitch's name. I got a couple of taglines for her, none of which are appropriate, but okay. Has now declared a state of emergency. Now, she finally got around to it, and is asking for federal aids as residents become increasingly desperate. Well, we can't get to people's homes, so we'll just ask for the feds to come in and not be able to get to people's homes. Okay. Videos posted online show brazen thieves taking advantage of the chaos. Bring in the National Guard. You could be like Toronto back. Oh my God. I don't know how many people remember this, but way back in the day, probably like the late 90s. I seem to remember this. I definitely remember the aftermath and how many people were, you know, mocked over this. But at the time, the mayor of Toronto called in our version of the National Guard. Might be the National Guard. Not entirely sure, but he brought them in order to shovel the streets in Toronto. It's like, the late 90s were an easier and much less hectic time. Now, Hochul can call in the National Guard, or whatever the equivalent would be, come down and run security for these shops that are getting broken into. What the fuck is going on? Videos posted, yes, brazen thieves in abandoned storefronts like Dollar General. You're really hitting the high-ticket targets, right? I've also seen an Aaron's, a rent-to-own place. Like, you guys are going to franchise locations that are operated by small business owners, guys that are barely breaking fucking even. So yeah, really sticking it to the man, but them buildings got life insurance and shit. Residents filmed some of the thieves as they entered the store and left with handfuls of items, accounting, well, if you took a handful of items at Dollar General, what'd you get, $20, $30 worth of shit? Items like paper towel, toilet paper. Ooh, dollar store toilet paper. Oof, that sucks. As one shameless woman even posted a Facebook Live of her and her friends grabbing items from the store. Yes, just the woman. Nothing, no identifying markers at all whatsoever. Heaven forbid we'd want to be accurate with our assessment. Others were filmed hauling away televisions, and security footage caught one man breaking the glass of a liquor store. Dollar General, stealing other people's shit. Who allegedly stole $500 worth of goods from a liquor store. Depends on what section of the liquor store you break into. That could be an entire armful of bottles, or it just could be, you know, whatever you could fit inside your coat. The store owner told WKBW reporter Michael Schwartz that he had to stay in the store overnight because he was unable to board up and hole amid the storm. Yeah, man, that's fucking ridiculous. He added that the thief has cheap and bad taste. Okay, so he got an armful. He was just looking to get drunk. He wasn't looking to explore any of his palate. Photo shared online also showed the Fast Track convenience store in disarray. A fucking convenience store. That's where I've seen some footage from. If you like the television just magically making it halfway through a driveway, well, you can thank Daily Mail's auto roll right there. Photos shared online, yes, with and Andre Brown, sure, noting that the perpetrators were not stealing food or medicine, just cigarettes from behind the counter. So these people aren't people in distress. These are people that are taking advantage of a natural disaster and suffering in many of our communities to take what they want from retailers. Yeah, of course, that's what looters and robbers do. And there you go. There's some of the youths out there acting a fool. Color me shocked, of course. But yeah, take a look at what they're stealing, okay, I guess. Gum? Why you want gum? Okay, like you're trying to break into a lottery, like a scratch ticket machine? What the fuck are you guys doing? Yeah, there she is, drinking the liquids inside the convenience store like a fucking weirdo. County Executive Pollenkars, right, said on Monday authorities are investigating the widespread reports of looting in the city, and then just throw their hands up in the air going, what the fuck do you want us to do? We got snow outside. I'm heartbroken about the deaths. Yeah, that's nice. But you know what's really bad? Kids stealing vapes. I hate it. But absolutely devastated to see many deaths. I'm heartbroken about the deaths, but just absolutely devastated to see as many deaths. This guy's really smart. I'm glad he's in charge. And then to find out that there's looting going on in our community at the same time we're recovering the bodies is just horrible. Yeah, I want to make a really bad taste joke about another event that happened in Buffalo earlier this year, but I'll just allude to it so you guys can go ahead and connect the dots if you remember current events. But yeah, Daniel Navarth, Jr., Commissioner at the State Homeland Security and Emergency Services, also said that more than a dozen gas stations in Erie County are now inoperable because the convenience side has been looted and equipment inside had been rendered ineffective. So in their haste to steal anything that wasn't nailed down, they also disabled the fuel pumps. Fuck. So yeah, referenced it a little bit earlier. Hochul called for the feds to help, and don't worry guys, Biden's on the, well, not him per se is on the way, but he approves New York emergency declaration as death toll reaches 2835. Tomato, you know, somewhere in the middle. We'll just go ahead and call it an even 30. 32. Give you that. President Biden approved New York's emergency declaration request on Boxing Day as a state battles a powerful winter storm that has also claimed the lives of at least 50 people across the United States. Oh, okay, so there's more people not in the Buffalo area. Okay, like I seen the photo, or not the photo radar, but just the storm tracking and the way that it's supposed to hit with different cold spells across the entire country and the East Coast. Holy, it looks like it's definitely facing the brunt of this stuff. The White House said in a statement that Biden issued an emergency declaration on Monday for Erie and Genesee counties. The approval authorizes the Department of Homeland Security, the FEMA, obviously, to coordinate all disaster relief efforts, which have the purpose of alleviating the hardship and suffering caused by the emergency on local populations, and to provide appropriate assistance for required emergency measures, according to the statement. Yeah, but I thought you said Biden approved this stuff, so why is the White House approving it? Oh, because Biden's out there, he's getting flued out, okay? He's spending the holiday season in the Bahamas. Man, I guess Delaware's not that nice this time of year. Must have been getting a storm or something like that, so he's got to go down and row a sailboat, or I guess you don't row a sailboat. Die. Sit on a boat, I don't know, crack open a couple of preschoolers or whatever the fuck he wants to go do out there, but meanwhile, you know, the courts are fighting back and upholding Title 42, thanks Trump. And yo, there's a significant catastrophe happening in the Northeast, but Joe, he's got to go get his tan on, man. Conservatives are blasting President Joe Biden, well, also probably the people of New York who overwhelmingly voted for him in the 2020 election, and then again overwhelmingly voted for Democrats. He's like, okay, cool. Isn't this just par for the course for Joe? Okay, when the going gets tough, Biden gets flying. This dude has spent so much time on vacation. It's almost impossible to keep an accurate depiction of how many days he's been spending outside the adequate confines of Washington, D.C. On Tuesday, the White House announced that Biden's had departed Washington, D.C. en route to St. Croix in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Oh, he's in the Virgin Islands. Okay, damn it. Where the President and First Lady Jill Biden would begin a several-day vacation with the family through January 2nd. Oh, yeah, don't worry, Joe will be back in enough time to gather up his belongings from the West Wing, only to fly out to Delaware for the weekend to make sure that their multi-million-dollar mansion didn't get affected by the storm. The virtue of a presidential vacation is not a foreign one, even as president. See, it's not bad because Biden's doing it. Everybody else did it as well. But was it ever during a multifaceted state of emergency for the United States? Can we just, quantify that? No? Okay, cool. Presidents like Bill Clinton, yeah, we all know where he was flying, along with one of his most trusted advisors, who didn't kill himself, set a long-standing precedent for remaining in D.C. for the holidays. Oh, he just flew him in. Okay, he didn't get flown out to an island. Biden's predecessor, President Donald Trump, would often leave Washington to ring in the holiday season at Mar-a-Lago during, what catastrophes were befalling Washington? A looming government shutdown? All right, bet. Over what? Not wanting to fund a border wall. Remember when the biggest problem with Congress was, we can't be spending $5 billion on a border wall? What the fuck are you guys talking about? That is frivolous spending. Meanwhile, Ukraine, we need another $42 billion. Okay, just bend over. However much you can fit in my rectum is how much you can take. Just fucking ridiculous. And before that, Barack Obama. That's something that the media would never talk about. That motherfucker was never at the White House. He was doing exactly what Justin Trudeau has perfected over the previous 7 years. Getting flown out to every other place around the fucking world and apologizing and just standing in front of the camera. And, two teleprompters on either side of me. So I could just go ahead and deliver a speech. Because I'm always going to be the smartest person in the room. And you guys love the attention and the spotlight that it brings whenever I'm around. Fucking Obama was an atrocious president. Just fuck off already. At his family vacation home in Hawaii. How adorable. There's Joe. He's like, I thought there'd be more pirates here. Or he's just disappointed because all of the girls are of a certain age. And it's like, I thought it was the Virgin Islands, man. But for a president who has already faced scrutiny from the Washington press corps for his frequent trips away from D.C., how frequent are they? Funny you should ask. Biden can't find time to inspect the border after vacationing 271 days in 2 fucking years. 200? How do you do that? How do you have a job and you vacation over a third of your fucking time? And is that even factoring in every time that he'd go to Delaware or Camp David? Still do something, okay? He'd appear on a Zoom call and talk to somebody. So is that a vacation day? Probably not, but really it doesn't much matter. 271 days, so holy fucking shit. Biden on Tuesday, and this is from the beginning of December, so this doesn't even factor in any of this month's previous trips to Delaware or anywhere else, and definitely not this holiday vacation that is a couple weeks long when it's all said and done. Biden, entering his second year as president, has yet to inspect the invasion at the southern border. Yeah, no, and he has absolutely zero intention of going there because he's like, I got more important things to do. The motherfucker actually said that. Hey man, a flood of illegal immigrants coming across the southern border, that's somebody else's problem. Well, sir, you're no longer vice president. You have in fact been installed and it's your job. No, I gotta go. Fox News' Peter Doocy asked Biden on Tuesday, the last Tuesday, obviously, whatever the corresponding December 7th Tuesday was, when he might finally find time to inspect the southern border. Yes, Biden responded it's not his highest priority. His highest priority probably at the time would have been make sure we pass the Respect Marriage Act, man, because gays need to get married. And it's like, okay, cool, we already had that settled. But now they can get married in law. Cool, great. President has made time, however, to go on vacation to over all or a part of 271 days to destinations including Camp David, Delaware, Nantucket, according to the Republican National Committee's research team's so-called big guy tracker. See, it's funny. Now just give the RNC money because that's all they're doing is just fucking fundraising. You know what that's a reference to, right? Hunter Biden's laptop. Why haven't you guys done fuck all with that? Because the RNC is just as awful as the DNC for different reasons. On Tuesday, his office announced a push by the U.S. Department of Transportation to address what it called an uncharacteristically high rate of cancellations among American airlines. Oh, right, yeah. He's also going to be dealing with the amount of cancellations that have been happening. It's like there's a storm and people can't land an airplane in 6 feet of fucking snow. So, yeah, there's going to be cancellations, but Biden's going to be looking into that. A motherfucker who hasn't flown on public airlines in 50 years at this point, because that's how long he's been in fucking public office. Like, just stop it. Like, he actually cares about this. And it seems like a rehash of something that was happening earlier in the year anyway. So it's like he's never actually doing anything of substance. It's just either solidifying shit that's already been put into law, been recognized for a long fucking time, or he's just continuing to kick the can down the road so that he has just more campaign opportunities into the future. Career fucking politician, man. Business as usual, right? The adults are back in the room. Fuck off. No matter where the president is, he is working to remain upright, working to maintain some form of senility, working at chasing that cute little girl in the one piece or running across the beach. Like, what are we doing here? Like, president will closely monitor the updates and will remain in close touch with the staff over the new year. He has no fucking idea what's going on, but thanks, White House spokesperson. You're doing a great job. Conservative commentators, however, criticize the optics of his travel schedule. Remember how Ted Cruz was dragged after that ice storm in Texas in early 2021. Oh my God, he's going on vacation to Mexico. And then after, Ted was photographed at the airport, he's like, oh fuck, okay, you guys caught me, all right, I'll stick around. And he sent his family on vacation, and he went and stuck around and, I don't know, handed out fucking blankets or some shit like that. Like, there's not a lot that Ted Cruz can do. But he got bullied by all of the fucking media. Meanwhile, it's crickets when Biden has a border crisis and when he has the biggest fucking storm in half a century on his doorstep. And what's he doing? Nothing. The best thing that Biden does, okay? The only thing that he knows how to do. I gotta go, bye. Like this fucking guy. So not only is it a vacation, but it's somewhere warm and beautiful while others are freezing literally to death, noted former NFL sideline reporter turned conservative commentator Michelle Tafoya on Fox News Tuesday morning. I think she bounced because she didn't want to take the jab, fucking based. Meanwhile, the controversial pandemic-era Title 42 policy of the one that's like, yeah, we got a border down south and somebody should respect that shit. You motherfuckers stay over there and we'll maintain some sort of order over here on the northern side of the border. Okay, once you make yourself useful, file the appropriate paperwork, you're more than welcome to come across, but just sneaking in through the gaps, fuck off. That was, yes, thankfully upheld by the Supreme Court earlier yesterday, so that's going to be sticking around for at least a little while longer. But Joe's got to draw up some sort of legislation, either, get rid of it and then just woohoo, kick open the fucking doors, or solidify it. Actually, instead of doing your dumb fucking ceremonial shit for gay marriage, how about you do that with Title 42? Maintain some sort of order at the southern border. But that's shit that he can do once he gets back from getting his swim on, man. You get what you fucking deserve, I guess. So, with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.